Ladies and gents, boys and girls, happy Monday, January the 24th, 2022. Appreciate you all tuning in. And yes, as D just commented, literally as we're going live, Lavassier Carroll, the Georgia transfer who is in the portal or was in the portal, just made it officially official as he has committed to the Gamecocks, and something we had been hearing for the last couple of days, but he has officially made it official via social media. So we're going to see how good my multitasking skills are right now as I try to get this graphic out and begin this live today on the Daily Crow. But again, big news. Carroll was, in case you did not know, the 2021 recruiting cycle. He was a 4-star prospect. I know everybody's going to ask, is he going to play running back? Is he going to play DB? He was a 4-star running back in the recruiting cycle. Georgia switching him over to the defensive side. Either way, a very high-quality football player has been added to the Gamecocks roster. And Shane Beamer, continues to crush in the transfer portal. So again, guys, we've got that to get into. Much more. Feels good to be good as we get the Daily Crow rolling here on this Monday. Again, I see you all. Ross Sullivan, Terrence, John Kruger, Luke, RJ, Travis, Skyland, Phil, Wesley, D. What's going on? Appreciate you all tuning in. Again, we got a lot to get into here on this Monday, January the 24th, 2022. Also for the Big Cock Club Discord, head over to the TDC Questions channel. The TDC Questions channel, be sure that your questions are answered. Brendan M. says, have a good first hour, popping around 12:50. Looking forward to that. Brendan Phil says, daily weather for New Hampshire, 24 degrees and sunny. So again, guys, we're taking your questions, comments, calls. Of course, I'm Chris Phillips, your host of the Daily Crow, the Spurs Up Show. As always, 843-790-3377. Again, guys, we got a lot to discuss here on this Monday. Before we do, though, I want to tell you about our friends over at Dason and Shalabi Law Firm, because the Daily Crow is presented to you by our friends at Dason and Shalabi Law Firm. Guys, they're young but experienced and aggressive attorneys. They're both former prosecutors who used to represent insurance companies, but switching sides. They both worked at larger law firms where they represented hundreds of clients at a time. And guys, they both left to start their own law firm because they understand you're not just a line item or a number. You're a real human being, and you should be treated as such. They're a small boutique law firm that treats their clients like family. Guys, they're going to know who you are and treat you like a client and not a number. They handle injury cases that arise from car accidents and work accidents. Guys, do not try to take on the insurance company yourself. And involved in any type of accident, no matter what it might be, the last thing that you should be dealing with and worrying about is dealing with paperwork, the insurance company. Let the experts over at Dason and Shalabi Law Firm handle it for you, guys. They use latest technology to make representation efficient yet effective. Again, let them take care of everything for you. You don't even pay them unless they recover money for you. Rami's in Columbia, Curtis in Charleston. They handle cases statewide. They also offer virtual or in-person consultations at no charge. Guys, give them a call today in Columbia, 803-973-0304, or in their Somerville location, 843-388-3368. Or, of course, your one-stop shop, their website, dsinjurylaw.com. That is dsinjurylaw.com for more information. Again, guys, our friends over at Dason Shalabi Law Firm. Be sure to check them out and tell them that Chris from the Spurs Up Show sent you. Okay, like I said, big news dropping the second we go live. Lavassier Carroll, the Georgia transfer. He is a transfer no longer. He is officially a Gamecock, as he announces via social media that he will be joining the Gamecocks roster. And again, guys, this was something that if you're in the Big Cock Club Discord, you knew this was coming. We actually already knew he was enrolled. I heard over the weekend he's going to wear number 14 for South Carolina, so we sort of knew this was coming. But Carroll making it officially official. Again, now the question moves to, as I try to get this post out on social media and multitask and chat with you all, the question moves to, what position will he play? Of course, Carroll was a 4-star prospect, a 4-star running back prospect in the 2021 recruiting class. Got moved to the defensive side when he got to Athens. So, guys, to be honest, I'm not 110% sure, which position he's going to play. But either way, all you need to know is this: a guy who is a talented football player, and the more the merrier when it comes to talented football players. I don't really care where he plays as long as he can make an impact for you. Both the running back position and the secondary, we could use all the talented football players we can get our hands on. So overall, Shane Beamer, though, just continuing to crush. Obviously, Carroll was a guy that at one time was committed to South Carolina and for whatever reason just did not work out. So, yeah, great to see that. Like I said, guys, just getting this post up. You're hearing me typing. I'm literally just trying to get this on Instagram real quick. There we go. Boom, boom. Okay, there we go. Anyways, taking your questions, comments, calls, 843-790-3377. That's 843-790-3377. Again, it is official. Lavassier Carroll has committed to the University of South Carolina. P-Doc, what's going on, my guy? Appreciate you tuning in. Phil, the menace Phil, is back today. Let's see. Phil says, John pounding the shipping questions early in the show. Yeah, I don't know if people like John realize this. I don't print the shirts here at my house, John. So that's why the answers are a little bit fuzzy. I've got a vendor that I believe in Charlotte, North Carolina that fulfills those orders. But while we're on the air, hey, let's check John Kruger's order while we are at it, because I do not want John to fret and think that his order is not being fulfilled. And yes, John, it is being printed. Again, the order is being printed. I do not know exactly which day. I would assume sometime this week those T-shirts will be shipped. Again, if you're waiting on T-shirts, guys, as you can imagine, we are backed up. It's a great thing. It's a great problem to have. We've had a ton of orders come through. I promise you they will be printed as quickly as and shipped out as quickly as possible. Ross Sullivan, any idea the other welcome home? As of right now, no. You know, I would assume with over the weekend being junior weekend, what have you, ton of 2023 prospects were on campus. I'd have to imagine that it was a 2023 prospect that committed, but nothing concrete right now. So, again, the positive momentum for the Gamecocks continues. That's the big thing. That's the big takeaway, and especially on the transfer portal. We've talked a lot about Shane Beamer attacking the transfer portal and what he's been able to do. It's absolutely incredible. Terrence Tobin, how many years can he play? How many years can Carroll play? I mean, I would assume he's got 3 or 4. I mean, the guy was a freshman this past year. He's a class of 2021 kid, so at minimum 3. For sure. So he'll be in Columbia for a while. Cade Sutter, has there ever been a more exciting offseason with the Gamecocks? Well, Cade, yes. Simply put, Cade, yes. If we want to be honest, I mean, all those years, 2011, 12, 13, even the 14 offseason, I mean, I get where you're coming from. I'm not trying to, be Debbie Downer, but I mean, come on, you gotta put some recently, no, but you gotta put some respect on those off seasons, my guy, with how good we were being preseason top 10. Those are pretty fun off seasons, but certainly what Shane Beamer's doing, man, it's incredible on the recruiting trail. And of course, you win your bowl game, all that good stuff. So again, guys, in case you missed it, the big news as we just went live, Lavassier Carroll making it officially official. He is a Gamecock. Phil says, don't we have like 5 running backs on the roster? I understand depth is needed, but if the kids don't play, they transfer. So what's the point in recruiting a lot of players in one position? Not criticism. Phil, obviously the coaching staff is going to know a lot more about us or about the roster than us and what we need. Obviously you lose Kevin Harris, you lose Aquandre White, you have Marshawn Lloyd and Juju McDowell returning. If you want to add another guy, and I know you just added Christian Beal-Smith, the kid from Wake Forest, so maybe he's going to play DB, Phil. I don't know. John Gibbs, what's going on? Appreciate you tuning in. Terrence Tobin, Spurs up, my guy. Appreciate it. Justin, what's up? Daddy-O. P-Doc, yeah, we had to go with the tank today, my guy. Had to go with the tank today. So, yeah, got the heat rolling in the crib. Got the heat rolling, so a little bit warm in the stew. Figure why not? We'll pull the tanks back out. It's almost tank season. It's almost tank season. Not quite there yet. After it just snowed on Friday, which, by the way, hope you enjoyed the snow. I know I did. We had a really, really good time. Had a little bit of a snow party, if you will. Really good time. Just enjoying it. It was cool. And I know Phil will scoff and laugh, but Phil, we got legit snow on Friday night, by the way. So that was awesome. That was awesome. And it was cold. It was very, very cold. And it melted very quickly. But that was really cool. Yeah, that was really cool. So, again, guys, appreciate you tuning in. You probably see behind me as well. And this is specifically, I don't know if Cody Gaskins is tuned in or not, one of our guys in the Big Cock Club, but pour one out for your Bills homies today, man. I lived in Charlotte, North Carolina for 4 years. And a lot of my buddies up there, most all of them were Bills guys, upstate New Yorkers. And, man, I tell you, the Bills fan base is a lot like ours, where they're tormented. They're absolutely tormented. So, if you know any Bills fans, man, take it easy on them today. This is certainly a therapy Monday for the Bills fans. Tough day to be a Bills fan. Overtime rules. It's tough. It's tough. So I feel for our guy Cody Gaskins and all the other Bills fans as well. I don't know if this is a question for the show or not, but our guy P-Dog asked me, do I ever miss Charlotte? Charlotte's really, really cool. I mean, Charlotte's dope. It's super dope. Do I ever miss it? No. I'm really, really happy where I am. I mean, obviously, Columbia is the vehicle for my business. I mean, I get to talk Gamecocks and cover Gamecocks and throw events. And no, I love being in Columbia. I mean, Charlotte's awesome. Love visiting Charlotte. But do I miss it to the point where I want to move back there anytime soon necessarily? No. But I would suggest Charlotte to anybody, man. Charlotte is a blast. Charlotte's a blast. Yeah, well, P-Doc, whatever. You ask the questions. You ask questions to me between noon and 2, and you kind of get what you get. So, let's see. Lance, my guy, it's always tank season. It's always tank season, my guy. By the way, speaking of tank season, just to update you guys really quickly on this week. In case you have not tuned into the podcast today, which you have not done so, great show today, episode 583, breaking down everything from over the weekend to hell with Georgia. Gamecocks getting the big dub over the Georgia Bulldogs. Also, great conversation, throwback conversation with former Gamecocks offensive lineman Kyle Nunn. But again, in case you missed it, TSUS will be hitting the road this week. TSUS hitting the road, taking a little mini vacay, if you will. Do not fret. The podcast is going nowhere. We're still going to roll all 5 days of the podcast. The only thing changing this week is this. Tomorrow, no Daily Crow tomorrow, because I will be literally in the air on an airplane. So during that time, no Daily Crow. I wanted to position it where I could still do the Daily Crow, but just did not work out. So no Daily Crow tomorrow, no Tin Roof on Wednesday. No Tin Roof on Wednesday. I know P-Doc, Pac-10. No Tin Roof on Wednesday. Going to be out of town Tuesday through Saturday. Going to get back middle of the day Saturday, going down to sunny Florida. Really, really excited. Again, kind of off the record, one of my goals for this year was to travel more and do more things remote, just because, simply put, we can. So I figure before baseball season hits, before that gets going with the craziness, because, of course, I'll be at every single game at Founders Park, throwing tailgates, all that good stuff before that gets going. Why not get a little mini vacay in? So, again, yours truly will be on the road. So no Daily Crow tomorrow. That's really the only major change. No Tin Roof on Wednesday night. But, again, we're rolling with the podcast and the Daily Crow all throughout the rest of the week. So, again, not a lot of changes for you guys, but just to give you an idea. Of what's going down. So yours truly will be rocking the tanks this week, because I'm going down to Clearwater, and it should be pretty damn warm down there. Going to escape the cold for a little bit. Really looking forward to it. Really, really looking forward to it. We're going to have ourselves one hell of a time. Clone Phil is in the chat. We got all the Phils. Where's Sound Guy Phil? Phil Harris and Clone Phil. We've been telling Sound Guy Phil at Tin Roof he needs to get himself a YouTube account or get on here so we can have all the Phils, the trifecta of Phils, tuned in to the Daily Crow and tuned in, locked into the content as well. So good stuff. Let's see. Again, guys, also, yours truly will be at the women's basketball game tonight. Let's not forget, it is game day for the women as South Carolina takes on Vanderbilt at CLA. Cannot wait to go. Very excited to get in the building. Go check out Dawn Staley Squad. By the way, in case you missed that big news, the Thursday game against UConn no longer happening. The Gamecocks will instead make up their game against Ole Miss. Totally understand why it's happening. Totally understand why they're doing it, because, again, the SEC games are much more important, and you've already beat UConn once. But, it's kind of a buzzkill. I know we were all looking forward to that game. It's always fun when the Gamecocks and UConn play each other, but either way, that game will no longer be happening. So, in case you missed that, what else? I feel like we got a ton to talk about here on this Monday. Like I said, guys, we can talk basketball. Of course, football conversation really got going this morning with my good friend Brad Crawford dropping his way too early predictions for the Gamecocks 2022 football season, and really for every single SEC team. And in case you missed it, let's go through it here, because this is something it's always fun to dive into way too early predictions. Of course, guys, I dropped mine a few weeks ago, and I had the Gamecocks at 8-4, 5-3 in the SEC. This is where our good friend, and friend of the show, Brad Crawford, has South Carolina picked for the 2022 season. Again, way too early predictions. Brad Crawford got the Gamecocks 7-5, 4-4 in the SEC. The wins coming against Georgia State, Charlotte, South Carolina State, And Phil going to call in the middle. Okay, we'll get into that in just a second. I want to take Phil's call real quick.
Call from
Phil Harris.
Phil, what's up, my guy? How are you?
Pretty good. How you doing, my brother?
I'm doing well, man. Appreciate you asking. What's going on?
I just wanted to say thank you once again for participating tonight in the Ruck and Roosters show. You and Gavin Bennett, who is a former Carolina football player who is now playing on the Carolina rugby team, will be joining me tonight. We'll be recording it, and I just wanted to remind people that it will be released most likely on Friday on Gamecock Rugby YouTube. So if you go to YouTube after the show here, type in Gamecock Rugby, should be the first result. Go ahead and hit subscribe. Everybody listening to me. If you're not rugby people, that's perfectly fine, but he will be talking about, his football experience on the Muschamp era football team as well. So, yeah, should be a good time.
Yeah, for sure. And we'll be sharing the heck out of it, too. So, yeah, be sure to subscribe to the page, follow the page, but we will be sharing the heck out of it once it's released. So we'll make sure, Phil, the good word gets out there. But, yeah, I'm looking forward to it tonight, man. Truly, I appreciate you having me on and giving us the opportunity to chat and everything. So, yeah, looking forward to it, really, truly.
I appreciate you coming on, and I appreciate you once it is released, sharing the hell out of it. I appreciate it very much. So, yeah, thank you very much, and go Cock.
Phil, appreciate you, my guy. Good stuff. Yeah, for sure. Be sure to check that out, guys. Again, once it's out, like I said, we'll be sharing it across all social media, making sure it gets the recognition and the attention that it deserves. But really, really excited about that, man. Continue to spread the good word of what South Carolina Rugby is doing. And Gavin Bennett also, like I told you guys, the 2021, we had him on. I got to say, I think that was one of the best interviews of 2021. I really do. I think Gavin, the way he was able to open up and be so honest and transparent about the Muschamp era and just what went down, especially at the end of that era, and Shane Beamer, and definitely highly suggest you check that out on our channels. And, of course, like I said, guys, excited to chat with Phil and talk some Gamecock Rugby and dive into that. Anyways, let's get back to like I was talking about. Brad Crawford of 24/7 Sports released his way too early predictions for the 2022 football season. Again, he's got the Gamecocks 7-5, 4-4 in the SEC. Wins coming against Georgia State, Charlotte, SC State, Mizzou, at Vandy, at Florida, and Tennessee at home. So impressive wins in there. I mean, you think at Florida and Tennessee, you get them both, and you take care of Mizzou. Losses coming against at Arkansas, Georgia at home, at Kentucky, Texas A&M, and at Clemson. And here's what Brad says, and I'll probably be sharing this via social media as well, because it's very intriguing, and again, it gets the conversation going. Here's what Brad says. South Carolina fans are optimistic the addition of Spencer Rattler, Austin Stogner, and several others in the transfer portal means next year's team will be substantially more productive offensively. The Gamecocks entered the offseason with momentum after winning their bowl game against North Carolina, and several of those stars against the Tar Heels are back. Overcoming a 1-2 start to finish 8-4 would be an impressive feat for Shane Beamer in his second season, especially if the Gamecocks are able to snap a long losing skid to Clemson in the finale. So again, Brad Crawford, 7-5, 4-4, which poses this question, because I've seen a lot of people, the reactions, and again, guys, this is South Carolina. We get it, right? It's 24/7, 365. Football never stops in Columbia, and we love it. We love it, right? And I think I've probably posed this question before. I will pose this question many, many more times as we get closer to kickoff. I think we're like 220 days away. We got quite a long time to go. But I do pose this question because I saw some reactions to Brad Crawford's picks. I saw some reactions to Brad Crawford's thoughts on the season. And I posed this question. I posed this poll literally 30 minutes ago. And it's already got 400 votes, by the way. So I appreciate you guys interacting and voting and sharing and all that good stuff. The question's this, and you can go vote on this poll on Twitter, because the question is this: What would you deem a successful year two of the Shane Beamer era? Okay, record-wise, what would you deem as a successful year in year two of the Shane Beamer era? The options are 6-6, 7-5, 8-4, and 9-3 or better. Because of course, there's no way in hell that below 6-6 would even be slightly considered a success. Right now, 400 votes in, or just under 400, 65% of the votes say 8-4. 21% say 7-5. 11% say 9-3 or better. and 2.6% say 6-6. So again, the large majority are saying 8-4. What are you guys' thoughts? What do you think? What do you need? Like, what is there a specific record? Is there a specific record? Because again, I know there's a lot of positive momentum. I know the trajectory of Gamecocks football is positive, and yours truly locked in my way too early predictions at 8-4. I will say this though. If you go, I'm kind of torn on it. Here's why. If you go 7-5 and win your bowl game again, and you go 8-5, how could you look at that season and say, "Oh, that was a failure"? You know what I'm saying? Like, how could you view that season as a failure? And especially the way that Brad Crawford broke it down. If you go 7-5 and you beat Florida and Tennessee and Mizzou,
Will from Dirty Marble.
You know, let's jump to the phone lines here. Will, what's up, man? How are you?
Good. How are you doing?
I'm doing well, man. Appreciate you asking. What's going on?
All right. So I just wanted to give my quick little too early prediction myself and my thoughts on what would be a successful year next year. So personally, the way the schedule lays out this year, I think it's kind of tough for us. The flow of it is not concurrent with us being good early. Whereas like last year, it was like laid out perfectly to get the momentum. I think that 7-5, in my personal opinion, with a chance to make it 8 wins in the bowl game, is success, considering our schedule strength this year. It's just, I personally think it's much tougher than last year, the way it lays out. And also just how people are setting the bar so high with saying that you got to win, 8-4. Now, 8-4 means that we're not losing to any of those teams, the Tennessees, the Kentuckys. You're beating all those. And that, to me, just doesn't seem realistic yet. Not saying it couldn't happen, but you're going to lose to Texas A&M. That's like, death and taxes. You're gonna probably lose to Georgia. You're going to probably lose to Clemson.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And then you got, there's a couple. So, it's, to me, 7-5, 8-5 with the bowl game, that's success. I'm happy with that. Just your thoughts on that.
No, I agree. The schedule's tough. And, that's the thing. South kind of got better this offseason. There's no question. But so did everybody else. Kentucky brings, as much as I hate to say it, Kentucky brings Levis and Rodriguez back. I mean, Tennessee's improving, and obviously what they did to you last year in Knoxville. I mean, Florida is doing everything they can to get better. I got to think the Gators will be a better team this year under Billy Napier. I mean, we'll see. You still got to play the A&Ms, the Clemsons, the Georgias. You trade out the Auburn game for at Arkansas. I think we'd all agree that's a much, much tougher game.
Which is much harder.
Yeah, it's a much tougher game.
Much harder.
That'll be a really intriguing game, and you could argue that's the key game of the season and really going to set the tone for you. And I don't think if you lose that game in week 2, it's, the season's, headed downhill. But it is a game, if you win it, all of a sudden, you open up the doors to, hey, who knows? You know what I mean? Because you got Georgia week 3. You'd be 2-0. You'd be ranked. You'd be at home, probably a night game, prime time. Who knows what could happen? So I'll say this. I would not right now. I'm not willing to go on record and say 7-5 would be a failure of a season in year 2, because it's all about just making incremental progress. I will say this, though. I will say this. After you add Spencer Rattler, Austin Stogner, now Lavoisier Carroll, all the guys you've added in the portal, and specifically Rattler, that's the big one. After you add him, the Gamecocks went 6-6 in the regular season, and each season's its own thing, right? Like I think you get into a really dangerous spot when you start saying, well, we won 6 this year, so we have to win 8 next year. Like each season's its own different thing. Each season's its own separate thing. You can't say, well, because this happened last year, this should happen this year. Coaches change, staffs change, teams change, personnel changes. You really can't look at it that way. Each year is its own individual thing. But I will say, after going 6-6 in year 1 with what you had at quarterback and what you were facing, I can understand where some fans would feel like if you go 7-5, you didn't really get the most out of what you were hoping you'd get out of a Spencer Rattler. Like you'd like to think he's worth more than just one more win, especially with the way the 2021 season played out. But again, to your point, I'm not going to go on record and say 7-5 would be some disappointment, because, hey, you won 1 more than you did last year. And if you keep doing that, hey, I don't care. That's fine. We'll win 8 the next year, and then we'll win 9 the next year, and we'll just keep incrementally getting better. Totally fine with that. But I know a lot of fans are expecting a huge jump, and to a degree, I can't blame them. You know what I mean?
No,
so.
And I do think there will be a jump. But the only thing, like I will say this, if we had our same schedule this year that we did last year, I would immediately say 8-4 is the floor. Like I feel like last year's schedule wound up a lot better. But also, let's take into account that, like you said, there's a lot of people that are getting better through the transfer portal. You know what I mean? Missouri's got a lot of good guys through the transfer portal. Some of these games, it's not just like you can say, well, we won 6-6, we're going to go. I think our floor is much higher this year.
Yeah.
We're going to be a much better team on offense. There's no doubt about that. But, you know, it's just all about keeping things in perspective. And let's not – I think we could win 9 games this year. If things go right, we can win 9 games.
Yeah.
But I just think it's more realistic to think that you know, 7-5 is a more realistic landing spot for us. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's all I'm saying.
Well, yeah,
what do you –
go ahead.
I was going to ask you about, do you think Carroll's going to play running back for us or defensive back?
Yeah, it sounds like he's going to play running back. Mike Yuva put out a clip just a little bit ago, and he said in his tweet that he was expected to play running back. So, I mean, listen, all the offensive weapons we can get, I mean, I'm sure that's what you sold to Rattler, right? Like, we're going to have guys around you. There's not going to be a lack of weapons. But, yeah, it makes things interesting in the running back room, man. Like, what does Marshawn Lloyd do? You know, what does – some of these other guys, they start to look around, like that running back room just got really crowded again. So, but hey, I think it's smart to continue to bring in playmakers. You can split out Juju wide, use him in a different way. You know, there's different ways you can use these guys. You just need a lot of talent on the offensive side. And you need weapons. So I think that's smart. You know, he was a 4-star running back coming out of high school, really highly thought of prospect. What I was going to say to the point you made, though, I agree with you. The ceiling is higher. The floor is higher, which is a great thing. And I know it's and for me too, I hate hearing this because I feel like it's something we've heard a lot. It's like nails on a chalkboard when people say this team could be a lot better, but the record stay the same or the record not get any better. And it's like that is so painful to hear because it's like, it doesn't feel like that computes or makes sense, but it could be the case. It could be the case. I mean, you could go 7-5, but again, it's like I said a couple of weeks ago. You could go 7-5, but the way you win should be the biggest difference, in my opinion. Like, you shouldn't have to have where it's 5 of your 7 wins or come from behind and you're struggling to beat East Carolina on a game-winning field goal and you're beating Vanderbilt by a point. Here's what I would say. I'd pose this question. Let's say you go 7-5, but, hey, you beat the hell out of Georgia State, Charlotte. I mean, they're comfortable wins. You know what I mean? You score a lot of points. You take care of Vandy. You know, and you go 7-5 and you play, let's say, A&M, Clemson, Georgia, whoever, you play most of the big teams really, really close and you put up offensive numbers. That 7-5 all of a sudden feels a lot better than that 6-6 did. Because that was the biggest thing last year. We went 6-6, but the way we were winning was just so ugly and so hard to watch. If you go 7-5, but you average 35 points per game, you see what I'm saying? Like, that 7-5 feels a lot different. It feels a lot better than –
and to your point is that it was the way we lost too.
Yeah.
A lot of the losses came with absolutely no offensive output. So it's like I want to look like
you can't have 11. You can't have 11 yards of offense in the third quarter again. That's for sure. That's
No. But like Tennessee won the same amount of games as we did last year, but they were competitive against Ole Miss. They were competitive against Alabama. I want to compete against the teams even if we don't beat them. You know what I mean? Like, that's kind of where we're at. And I'll leave it at that. I'll keep listening, brother. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man. Thanks so much for the call and the insight. Yeah, great points there. No, I agree. I think, when you talk, and we'll break this down much more, obviously, in the summer, guys. Like I said, we got a long way to go. But, whenever we break down records and stuff like that, we give the best case and worst case scenario. And I think certainly the way you've upgraded the roster, yes, the schedule gets tougher, but I think your best case certainly is the ceiling is higher. There's no question. The ceiling, I mean, South Carolina could go 9-3. They could. I think that's aggressive. I think that's really aggressive to pick because, again, think about what that means. Think about what it means for Carolina to go 9-3. That basically means you win all of your toss-up games. You don't lose any of them. Right? Your only losses would be to Georgia, A&M, and Clemson. So, that feels aggressive to me even in year 2, even with Spencer Rattler as your quarterback. That feels aggressive. My way too early picks, like I said, guys, was 8-4. The only difference that I had from what Brad Crawford had was I had us beating Kentucky. That one is one, listen, they all could change. All those picks I made could change. That's certainly one that, with them returning Levis and Rodriguez, it's, I don't know. I don't know. That's one that certainly could change. But either way, the ceiling is higher. The ceiling is higher, no doubt. Again, 843-790-337. Some of you guys taking your questions, comments, calls. Let's get into your questions. We also had a text here as well. Let me get this text. Texas, I say 7-5, the chance to get 8 wins, a successful season for 2022, and it's my early prediction. But the 7-5 is going to look a lot better than the 6-6 regular season this past year. Many more decisive wins and closer losses to better competition because our offense is going to put up points and keep us in it. Going to have a lot better feel, even though we will just have one more win. I agree. I do agree with that. I think the way you win is going to be a big, big difference. I think it's going to be much more fun to watch. Again, that 6-6 that we just went in 2021 in the regular season, we were why were so many people still upset? Well, it's because the way we were winning was ugly. We were winning with defense, the offense stunk, and that gave people sort of a sour taste and a sour outlook on that year. If you go 7-5 and you're putting up 30 points per game, I think people's outlooks and how they feel about the season, it's different. It just is. It just is. When the product's fun and you're scoring points and all that, I mean, again, fans would, fans today would almost rather win 42-40 lose 42-40 than win 20-17. Just because it's a more entertaining product. It's more fun to watch. I don't know. But again, I think also, the fact that 5 of your 7 wins in 2021 were come from behind, and, it made people feel some type of way about the season. I don't think you're going to have to be or, depend on those type of comebacks, if you will, in the 2022 season at least. Another text, how you feeling about the upcoming football season? I know it's really early, but I just wanted to see how you felt so far this offseason. I mean, I feel great about what Shane Beaver's doing. The positive momentum's incredible. Listen, I feel great about it. I think 8-4 is on the table. I think certainly a bowl game at minimum. So, how could you not be optimistic and excited for what's happening right now with South Carolina football? So let's see. Alex says we need to beat Arkansas. That's definitely a big game in week 2. I think it could certainly set the tone for you. P-Doc says we've never beaten Drinkwitz. 1-7 in our last 8 against Kentucky. 28-0 first quarter against Tennessee. Yeah, for sure. No, yeah, those are all valid points. By the way, I just saw Auburn, number 1 in the country in basketball. How about that? Matt Bruno, baseball season. Yes, sir, 25 days away. 25 days until first pitch. Also, scrimmages this weekend. Unfortunately, of course, the week that I'm going out of town, we start scrimmaging. But I will make the Sunday one. So Friday, Saturday, Sunday, the Yardcocks will be out at the yard scrimmaging 2 o'clock, 2:30, and 2 o'clock, respectively, on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. P-Doc says 6-6 is a failure next year. I don't give a damn. To add all the pieces you're adding and to not even improve your win total by 1 game, I would agree with you. I think they'd be falling short of expectations. I would say that's fair. I would say that's fair. I think that would be falling short of expectations. So, Phil, as far as I know, Greg Atkins is still on staff. Yes. Yep. I from what I know, he's still. I don't know, man. I don't know if that's going to change. Coach Ford says, how many seasons does Carroll have? 4. He only played in 4 games last year, I believe. Got that red shirt, so he's got 4 years. So he's got basically his entire career. Brian Lattimore, what's going on, my guy? Appreciate you tuning in. Like I said, guys, pour one out for the Bills fans today, as you see behind me. I got a lot of buddies that are in Charlotte that I actually got a Snapchat last night from somebody. They were at Tavern on the Tracks, which if you're familiar with Charlotte, Tavern on the Tracks is the Buffalo Bills bar. Fantastic place, great venue. And I know their fans are hurting today, man. So if you know any Bills fans, if you're friends with any Bills fans, take it easy on them, because that was a tough loss. A tough loss for sure. Let's see. Let's see. Again, guys, 843-790-3377. That's 843-790-3377. Gamecocks, looks like Gamecocks also made the top 8 for 2023 4-star linebacker Josiah Trotter out of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. So there you go. John Kruger, people are saying that Allen and Mahomes could be Manning and Brady as far as how frequently they could meet in the playoffs. Yeah, those are 2 really, really good ones. Yeah, no Brady this year. How about that? How about that? Tom Brady gets taken out. By the way, speaking of that, you guys will probably see this on social media. But, again, I'm going down there to see a buddy down in Clearwater, Tampa, what have you. I'm actually touring Raymond James Stadium tomorrow. Little stadium tour. Buddy was like, hey, you want to do it? I was like, hey, why not? Why not? So, going to have us one hell of a day. Going to be one heck of a week, man. Going to be a great week. So, in case you missed it, no Daily Crow tomorrow. No Tin Roof live show Wednesday night. Yours truly going to be out of town this week. Down in Clearwater, taking in the warm weather and taking TSUS on the road. Going to be a good time. So, anyways, want to continue to hear from you. Big day with the Gamecocks, guys. Like I said, episode 583 of the podcast did drop this morning. Lavoisier Carroll also making it official. He is a Gamecock. Coming to South Carolina, going to play running back for USC. Again, what does it mean? What does it mean for Marshawn Lloyd? What does it mean for Juju McDowell? What does it mean for Christian Beal-Smith, who just committed from Wake Forest? What does it mean? Who knows? What does it mean? We'll have to wait and see. But it feels good to be good, man. You beat – how about this? How about this for the last couple of days, by the way? You beat Georgia on Saturday, and then you take Lavoisier Carroll from Georgia today. Just feels good to be good, man. Feels good to be good. Feels good to be better than Georgia. I know Georgia just won the national title, but hey, you know what? Let's enjoy the victories no matter how big or small. Scott Stamey says, what about Tampa Bay fans? Well, Scott, y'all won the Super Bowl last year. Bills fans, again, are like Gamecock fans. We are tortured, tormented, a tormented fan base. And Bills fans, it might even be worse. Because, again, I ask you all, and I've asked you before, what's worse? Never getting to the pinnacle? It's kind of like the question, what's worse? To have loved and lost or never loved at all? You know? What's worse? Rhett Godboll says, one of the running backs is going to hit the portal. Who will it be? Well, we're assuming that one will. I don't know. I really don't know because, again, I have not given up on Marshawn Lloyd. I have not given up on Marshawn Lloyd. So we'll see. We'll see. You never know. You never know what might happen. I do still believe there is a possibility that Marshawn Lloyd can help South Carolina football. Again, I'm not. Yeah, I think Rashad Amos could. He could. I mean, again, if you want to play a guy like Amos who didn't see the field at all this past season, I mean, you think about who he's got in front of him now. Marshawn Lloyd, Juju, Beal-Smith, and Lavoisier Carroll. So, yeah. And Carolina Titan, I agree with you. Competition is what championship programs are built on, and Beamer is all in to get us to the top. Indeed. Yeah, I agree, man. The more the merrier. Add great football players. You don't like competition, you can go somewhere else. You know what I mean? You can go somewhere else. You're more than welcome to, but competition, iron sharpens iron. Let's jump to the phone lines here.
Call from Rebecca Stainridge.
Here we go. Rebecca, what's going on? How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. How about you?
I'm doing well. Appreciate you asking. What's going on?
I was just making a comment in the room. I said that we need to beat Tennessee Vols because I'm getting tired of the bullshit and living here in Tennessee and have to hear it from losing from Tennessee Vols people. It gives me hell.
Rebecca is confirmed tired of the bullshit. I hear you. No, listen, I want to beat Tennessee too, and we got them at home. It's the week before the Clemson game. That's a big game. So, I know for you it's even worse because you are up there in Tennessee holding it down. But, yeah, I mean, listen, that's one we all want to get.
Sir. I mean, it's just like every time you turn around and see Tennessee Vols crap on the shelves up here and everything.
Rebecca,
y'all get tired of.
Yeah, I mean,
I'll tell you, y'all get tired of seeing Clemson.
No, I can only imagine. It's. I feel like, at least just from what I see, that I feel like Tennessee is probably the second most hated team from besides, or the most hated team besides Clemson because, our fans just hate Tennessee fans, and I get it. Tennessee fans are obnoxious. There's no question, they're obnoxious.
And getting tired of hearing Rocky Top every time you turn around.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah, I've actually never gone to a game in Knoxville, so I look forward to the day that I experience that. But I have heard it's pretty brutal when they're playing Rocky Top like every other minute. So
yeah, I say so too. I'd be getting tired of it too.
Yeah, we all do. Do.
I'd be like, can y'all not shut the hell up on the Rocky Top song? I mean, seriously.
Rebecca, you speak for everyone when you say that. I love you. You truly speak for everyone. So.
Yeah, because, somebody said Knoxville is awesome. But
yeah.
I don't see how it's awesome, really.
Well, Aaron Thompson in the chat says Knoxville's awesome. I know P-Doc's a big fan of Knoxville as well. He went to the game and said it was a blast. So I don't know. Some people think it's a fun time. I don't know.
I mean, every time you turn around, it's the Dollar Generals or Walmarts. You see them on the shelf up here. I mean, seriously, it gets tiresome. I say it does the same thing with y'all down in South Carolina about Clemson.
Rebecca, I love it. Hey, listen, you can call in and go after Tennessee fans anytime. We all enjoy it. Trust me, we all enjoy it.
Well, I'm just telling how I feel about it.
I hear you.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, no, for sure. I hate Tennessee too. Again, that's a huge game this year. They'll travel well. It's the week before the Clemson game, which is an interesting spot on the schedule. But we need to get some payback this year. We need to get our revenge for sure. So, and I think we got a good shot to do it.
Yeah, I'm thinking we do. Tennessee Vols does come to Columbia this year, right?
They do, yes. The week before the Clemson game.
Right. And I was thinking, if I can, I'm going to try to save my money and come down there.
You should. Hey, come on out to the TSUS tailgate. We'll have a cold Busch latte waiting for you. I don't know if you're a drinker or not, but
I don't drink.
Okay, well, either way, we'll have a nice cold water waiting on you. So it'll be a good time. All are welcome. So.
Yeah, unless y'all can hook me up with some tickets.
Yeah. Hey, we might be able to. You never know. We might be able to. Rebecca, you make it down. Again, we got a long way to go. But I just might be able to do that. I think I can maybe pull some strings.
Travis Lee is saying something in here. I didn't understand what he said.
Rebecca, hey, the comments are the comments. You just got to do your thing. Just let it roll.
All right.
Let it roll. Hey, Rebecca, we're about to jump into a break. I appreciate you calling in. Seriously, anytime you want to call in and talk trash on Tennessee fans, you're more than welcome. But we'll talk soon, okay?
All right, I appreciate it.
Yeah, you take care. Great stuff. 843-790-3377. That's 843-790-3377. And one other thing I learned today that I did not know, P-Doc is a big Dollar General guy. I would have never guessed. I didn't know. Hey, to each their own, what have you. I'm not judging. I can honestly say I have not been to Dollar General in, God, it's been a long time. I don't know. I just haven't had a need to go. Either way, hey, taking your questions, comments, calls, guys. We are going to jump into our first break. I want to continue to hear from you. Huge day of news. Lavoisier Carroll makes things official. He's a Gamecock. Great podcast drop this morning, guys. Hey, it's Victory Monday, by the way. To hell with Georgia. We dominated them. Whatever you guys want to discuss. Hey, we're 25 days away from opening day as well. Great day to have a day, folks. Again, I want to hear from you. 843-790-3377. That's 843-790-3377. More your questions, your comments, your calls, and more on the other side of the break. You're tuned in to the Daily Crow. All right, guys, we're back Monday, January the 24th, 2022. Taking your questions, your comments, and your calls as well. 843-790-3377. It looks like y'all are having fun in the chat today, which you love to see that. You love to see that, guys. The chat is for you all. Sean Purdy, what's going on? Appreciate you tuning in. Also, for the Big Cock Club Discord, be sure to go there to make sure your questions are answered. The TDC Questions channel specifically. Let's see. P-Doc says they have great chicken breasts, Dollar General, and pasta. Love to hear that. Let's see. Matthew Smith, happy birthday, my friend. Appreciate you tuning in. Happy birthday to Matthew Smith. John Kruger says, can't wait to be the Friday game against Texas. Same here, John. Can't wait to beat all of them. Hey, you know how baseball season's getting close. The way you know, I found myself in Publix. I talked about this on the podcast today, but I found myself in Publix, bought me some sunflower seeds, bought a couple bags. It's about that time of year, guys. It's almost that time of year where my diet literally becomes sunflower seeds, and my time is spent more often than not at Founders Park, and that is honestly, you love it. Again, I've had people ask me, Chris, what do you enjoy covering the most? Do you enjoy football most? Do you enjoy baseball? It's different because football is king, right? There's nothing like a game day, a Saturday in South Carolina, but I do love the baseball side of things, man. It's really, really cool. So I can't wait. Can't wait. 25 days till opening day. P-Doc asked Chris, did you also get a pub sub? I am a huge pub sub guy. I will say, though, I think I'm going to cut back on the pub subs a little bit. I just, every time I'm in Publix, I feel like I'm getting a pub sub. I need to cut back on the pub subs just a little bit. But do love a good pub sub. The ultimate, the chicken tender, I mean, it's a no-brainer. So, yeah. Pub subs are truly legendary. So, P-Doc says, there's nothing like spots 94 to 97 at Seawells. Darrell Wall Jr., we got to beat the Kentuckys, Mizzous, and Tennessees on a consistent basis. We have to beat those three every year to even think we could get 8-9 wins. Everything else will fall in after, I believe. Yeah, I agree. Listen, I agree. Darrell Wall Jr., make a great point. That's why it's tough for me. Brad Crawford this morning at 24/7 Sports saying that he feels that the Arkansas game, week 2, is the most important game of the season. And I hear you, because that game can certainly set the tone for your year, right? You win that game, all of a sudden you're 2-0. You're probably ranked in the top 20. You're probably got a home game against Georgia, or you do. You probably got a home night game against Georgia. You're probably in prime time. That game can certainly springboard your season. But, dude, if you beat Arkansas, but then you lose to Kentucky, it just – I don't care how many in a row you lose to Kentucky. I really don't. You're never, as a Gamecock, going to go into a season saying, well, we should lose to Kentucky. Nobody's going to think that. Nobody believes that. And guess what? You're not a big-time program. You can't even start to consider yourself a big-time program until you're beating Kentucky on a yearly basis. You just have to. I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy. When you think about it, South Carolina has lost 7 of 8 to Kentucky. Like that just doesn't even sound right. 7 of 8 we've lost. It's got to change. My guy Brennan M, what's going on? Appreciate you tuning in. Appreciate you, Brendan. Rebecca Dean Stranger's comments. Tennessee can go to heck. Let's see. Chris Smith. We need sellouts for Texas series. Been a while since Founders have been absolutely electric. Missed those days. Well, Chris, I mean, we also didn't have full capacity last year. So I think we will. I think fans will show up and show out and come out to the yard. I think Clemson's going to be electric. I think the Texas series is going to be electric. Going to be a lot of fun. I mean, you got the number 1 team in the country coming to your house. It should be. William Howell says, what kind of seeds do you roll with? Brand and flavor. I'm a barbecue guy. Barbecue guy for sure. If they don't have barbecue, I mean, I will eat ranch. I'll even eat regular if I had to, but barbecue all the way. As far as the brand, I'm really not picky, man. Whatever. What's the main brand? What is the main brand? I forget. It's literally downstairs in my kitchen. Barbecue for sure. Barbecue. A-Rod says dill pickle. See, I'm not a huge dill pickle guy. Like, I'll eat it. I mean, it's better than nothing, but I'm definitely every time grabbing barbecue. Every single time. So, every single time. Guys, I can tell you what, I cannot wait again. We're 25 days away from first pitch from opening day. Cannot wait. That Friday of opening day, I'm going to try to plan some really exciting things in regards to, we're going to play at 4 o'clock. The Daily Crow will roll on as normal, noon to 2. I don't think we're going to do like any type of opening day tailgate or anything like that, but might, because, Friday at 4 o'clock, going to be tough for people to get out there. Maybe Saturday. I'm still working on that type of stuff, but really excited, man. Really excited for what's to come in regards to opening day and our baseball content. I mean, you guys know me. When baseball season gets here, I get into rare form, if you will, or I get into I don't even know how to describe it. It's different. It's a lot of fun. You guys already know the drill when it comes to the baseball content. So Courtney Washington says taco and cheeseburger. Are you talking sunflower seeds? Because I can't say I've ever had taco and cheeseburger sunflower seeds, and I can't say I'd ever want to. I can't say that I'd ever want to. So, anyways, guys, taking your questions, comments, calls. P-Dog says, where's Robbie Davis? That's a great question. Normally, Robbie has called in right now. Normally, Robbie has called in by now. I don't know where Robbie is. I'm sure he's going to call in right after I just said that. I think Robbie, I think he strategically sort of waits it out. And then calls in. So I'm sure we're going to hear from Robbie sooner rather than later. Again, guys, taking your questions, comments, calls. We just called it. I just called it.
Call from
Davis, a.k.a. Kirk.
I mean, he was waiting on us to say something.
Press 1.
He was waiting on us to say something. Here we go.
Press 2.
Robbie, what's going on, my guy? How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm still alive, for those of you that are wondering. I'm still alive. Don't worry, I haven't fallen off the face of the earth. So
I like I said, man, I think you were just waiting on us to say something, and then you were going to make your grand entrance. So
I was like, I'm going to see. I was thinking that I was like, you know what? I'm going to wait and see if somebody says something, and then after that somebody says something, I'm going to call. And the look on your face,
I love it.
Priceless.
Yeah,
I love it.
Yeah, I appreciate you springing up on us like that. What's going on, man? How's your Monday going?
It's going good, as usual, sitting here eating lunch, watching the Spurs Up show.
Love to hear that. By the way, A-Raj wants to know how the cats are doing today. Any sign of the cats over the weekend or today?
I was informed by my father a day ago, either yesterday or the day before. There's apparently something in our air vent.
Something in your air
I don't know what it is. Yeah. So I'm like last night when I went to bed, I was a little freaked out to go to bed because I was like, I'm going to wake up and something's going to be crawling out of my air vent. And I'm going to freak out and run out of the house.
So it's not a cat, or is it a cat?
I don't know what it is. I'm afraid to even look. I'm afraid to even wanting to know. Okay?
Well, I tell you what, if it's something that would eat a cat, then that can't be what it is. Then you wouldn't have cats anymore. So,
right. But I can't even remember what I was going to say now. You brought up the whole cat thing. Now I can't.
Sorry, A-Raj was just just needed to know how the cats were doing.
That's
needed
okay.
to know.
No hard feelings. No hard feelings whatsoever. But I think now I'm talking about football. Okay, so just so you're not going, I'm not going over your head. I think if we somehow win as many games as I predicted a couple of weeks ago of us going 8-4, okay, I flat out that's a great year. Okay, if we somehow go 7-5, I would still consider that a great year. Okay.
Where would you draw? Where would you draw the line? I would say, would it be 6-6? Is where you're like, okay, that's falling below expectations. Where would you draw the line in regards to what's a successful year and what's not as not as good as we all would have hoped. Where's the line drawn for Robbie Davis?
Honestly, for right now, a 6-6 season wouldn't bother me. Okay, but if we get to be five or 6 years into this, and Beamer's still our coach, and we're going 6-6, that's where I would have a problem.
Mm-hmm.
Like if we're recruiting as well as we've been recruiting for the last several weeks, and going 6-6, that's where I draw the line.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
right.
Especially with the players we've been getting in the transfer portal. Okay, if we go 6-6 this year with the players that we have coming in, as much as I hate to say it, to me it would be a failure.
Yeah, I mean, that's fair. That's fair.
I mean, you got Spencer Rattler, your starting quarterback. You basically have everybody from the defensive side of the ball coming back. Okay.
Yeah. I don't disagree. It's if you go below 7-5,
you got the tight end from Oklahoma coming to play at Carolina.
Yeah, you go below 7-5. It's really tough to justify that as a successful year, if you will. So. Yeah, I would agree with you again. And then if you go 7-5, again, some people might balk at that and say, well, that's not a successful year. But again, a lot of it's how you win too. You go 7-5 and you're scoring a lot of points, and
like you and me both have said before, we do not have a very good football history.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you and me both have said that before. Okay, the number of times I've witnessed us be in a bowl game in my lifetime, I can probably count on one hand. Okay.
Right.
The number of times I've seen us in a conference championship game, that's definitely on one hand. Only happened one time.
That is a fact.
We got our brains beat in, but it happened one time. And I truly think, like I've also said before, if we can somehow keep the coaching staff that we have, especially our defensive coordinator, he's earned every bit of the money we're paying. Okay.
Yeah.
But now the real question is, can he do better this year than he did last year? That's the question.
Well, yeah,
Same with the offense. The offensive line was trash.
Yeah, I mean, listen, it's all about Jimmy's and Joe's, and again, that's why I know a lot of fans want to say, oh, we should, you got to put Clemson as a toss up, put A&M as a toss up. I think South, where recruiting, where our roster has got to improve and where it really takes time, I think, to most exponentially improve it is the line of scrimmage. It's just going to take 3 or 4 years to get the type of guys we need.
That's where you win a football game, is that the line of scrimmage.
Right. So, I still think we're going to struggle. We're going to struggle, I think, against the Georgias and the Clemsons and the A&M's, teams that have been recruiting at a really, really high level for quite a while and are, they're elite. They're elite up front. Call it for what it is. They're elite up front.
And I truly believe it's going to take a while for sorry to cut you off, but I truly believe it's going to take a while for us to get to the point to where we can compete with Georgia and compete with Alabama and basically compete with the teams that nobody's expecting us to compete with just because of the recent history.
Yeah. Well, when you have a guy like Rattler, you have a chance. I'm not sitting here on January the 24th saying that, well, you just got no chance against Georgia. I mean, having a guy like Rattler gives you a chance. That's the beauty of it. He's going to give you a chance.
We weren't supposed to beat Georgia in 2019, but we went into Athens and beat Georgia, Dad.
Yeah.
We were supposed to lose that game by like 4 touchdowns, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, we were at 24 and a half point underdog.
We were supposed to get our brains beat in, and the star and it aligned. Okay, everything that was we needed to happen in that game happened. We had Israel McQuamu had 3 interceptions, and one of them was a pick 6. Okay, we put Georgia's starting quarterback on his butt early and often, and we kept Georgia's offense off the field whenever we needed to. And, of course, their kicker missed a field goal, which he rarely ever did, was he missed a field goal. But he missed a field goal. And we wind up walking out of Athens winning. And then the following week, of course, as usual for Gamecock fans, getting our brains beat in the following week.
Right. Yeah. So it's all about making progress. I mean, that 2019 win against Georgia means and meant nothing. It really does. So I'm not necessarily worried about
diddly.
All right. I'm not necessarily worried about beating Georgia. I'm worried about beating the Kentuckys and the Tennessees and the
teams that we're supposed to beat.
Right. Or we at least feel we're supposed to beat.
Because we're not, because in my opinion, we should not be losing to Kentucky in football. Losing to Kentucky in football, not good. But losing to Kentucky in basketball, I can handle that because Kentucky's known for basketball. Okay?
Indeed.
So I can handle losing to Kentucky in basketball, but losing to Kentucky in football, no. That's a major no-no whenever it comes to Gamecock.
Indeed. Yeah. No, indeed. That's, it's just something that really Carolina fans, we can't tolerate is losing to Kentucky in football. And I don't blame you. So,
I definitely don't want to see it. I definitely don't want to see another game like we had against the Citadel. Okay. I don't want to see that happen. No.
I think you speak for everyone when you say that, Robbie. I don't think anybody wants to see us lose the Citadel again.
All right. Because and don't get me wrong, okay? I have nothing against the Citadel, but the reason the Citadel beat us that year was because we let them stay in the game. We didn't beat them down and basically take control of the game. And also us not being able to play, us not playing against the triple option that much didn't help matters either.
Yeah.
But
the Citadel, you mean? That's what we call them, the Citadel.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, the Citadel. Okay. So if I wind up going to the season opener this year, I'm expecting us to not just beat Georgia State. I want us to beat. I like from the time we set foot on the field, that game should be over. Georgia State should not even sniff the end zone, let alone probably cross the 50, which they might cross the 50. But they should not get in our red zone and get a field goal.
What would be a suitable score prediction for
the game against Georgia State?
Yeah. What would be a suitable score
for me?
Yeah, like what do you want to see? Like how do you feel we should win? By how much?
Basically, kind of like how we did Eastern Illinois.
The Fighting Sean Elliott's not a lot of fighting on that night. That's for sure.
I basically want to see the same result that we had against Eastern Illinois.
I want to see that too. I would love to. I would love to run it up on old Sean Elliott. Why not?
No hard feelings against Sean Elliott, but let's just be real with ourselves here. He probably knows in the back of his mind they're probably gonna get their brains beat in. But hey, if Appalachian State can go into the big house and beat Michigan, which he was on that coaching staff, by the way.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, he was.
Sean Elliott was on that coaching staff. Okay.
Indeed.
That went in with App State that went into the big house and beat Michigan. Whenever I saw that score, I thought it was a joke. I was like, there's no way App State beat Michigan. But dadgummit, they kept it close, and they wound up blocking that field goal and winning the game in the big house. But
Indeed.
But like I said, I just want to see us. Like I've said before, also, I just want to see us get better week by week, get better year by year, and instead of having a drop-off, we have a rise in our development. You know what I mean?
For sure. I mean, I think Beamer's doing that, man,
Like,
behind the scenes. I think he's doing that.
I think so
I can
too.
assure
Like,
you I can assure you they're not sitting on their asses doing nothing. I promise you they're working hard to win games.
I know. Trust me, I know.
you-
Because like I've said before, he wants to prove that you can win at a high level at Carolina, and there's a lot of people that think you can't. And he wants to prove that, hey, you can get it done if you've got the right people around you and the right mindset. You can do whatever you put your mind to.
I think they'll get it done. Hey, Robbie, before I let you go, one quick question. P-Doc's got a request. Again, I said this about Rebecca, too. I don't know if you're a drinker at all, but he wanted to know if you'd shotgun a beer with him. P-Doc wants to shotgun a beer with you. I don't know if that's something you could make happen. But,
There's about a 50-50 shot that would happen.
50-50 shot.
So that's about the best chances you're going to get right there.
Fair enough.
Because I'm not much of a drinker.
Listen, I'll take 50-50 odds. You could take that up. You could take that up with P-Doc. P-Doc he can be pretty convincing, but yeah, you and Peyton Dawkins can hash that out.
No hard feelings, P-Doc.
Yeah. And I think A-Rod wants to get in line for a shotgun with Robbie Davis as well. So you got a couple shotgun requests.
I'm probably going to be. Hey, I'm gonna probably be at a game this year. I'll be in Gamecock Park walking around with my stepdad and my mom probably.
Well, we'll get you out. We'll get you out to the TSUS tailgate and yeah.
Trust me. Trust me. I've been wanting to come out to your tailgate ever since you started having the tailgate. I just never know where it's at. I mean, I know where it's at, but I just don't know how to get there. You know what I mean?
Well, we'll make sure P-Doc picks you up and brings you out. That ain't gonna be a problem in 2022. That ain't a problem.
But I already told Lance, and now of course P-Doc knows this, that if I'm ever in Columbia for a game and me and my mom and my stepdad are tailgating, I'll shoot him a text message.
I'd be upset if you didn't. To be honest with you, I'd be upset if you didn't. I'd be disappointed. So
I'll tell you what. I'll message you and Lance both, so y'all both know that I'm in the vicinity.
Definitely. We got to get you out to a TSUS
How does that
tailgate, man. Yeah, that works perfect. Just let somebody know.
Oh, trust me. I'll let y'all know. But and I was also, before I go, I wasn't happy about the first half, but the midway point of the second half in that game against Georgia. Why can't we play like that the whole game? That's what I want to know. Why can't you play like that the entire game? You got the athletes to do it. Why can't you do it?
Hey, your guess is as good as mine. I have no idea. No idea, Robbie. Hey, but hey, you know what? Whenever it happened, thank goodness it did, and we got the dub. And confirm, winning is a lot more fun than losing. So it feels good to be good, and feels good to beat the hell out of Georgia. That's for sure.
In anything, yes, it does. It feels good.
Indeed.
Feels very good. All right, man. I'm gonna get off of here, and I'm gonna eat my lunch and watch the rest of the Spurs Up show.
Hey, appreciate you, Robbie. Have a great rest of your day, man. We'll talk soon. Good stuff. 843-790-3377. That's 843-790-3377. Great Monday to have a Monday, guys. Calls are rolling. We are going to jump into a quick break. I bumped the cord a little bit, so I don't know if you guys can hear some of the muffled whatever, but I can hear it in my headphones. I'm going to fix this real quick. We're going to dive back into it. 843-790-3377. That's 843-790-3377. Oh, man. More of your questions, your comments, your calls, and more on the other side. You're tuned in to The Daily Crow. All right, guys, we're back. 843-790-3377. That's 843-790-3377. By the way, for those who were asking, David, the sunflower seed brand that I typically get, that's the one at Publix. That's the one that I see most of the time at the gas station. So David sunflower seeds, really, really good. That never steered me wrong before. Let's see. Chris Smith. Yeah, Robert Flores' tweet about Debo. Debo also battled injuries at South Carolina. So, I don't necessarily, we definitely didn't utilize him to his abilities, but he also did suffer a lot of injuries. Guy couldn't stay healthy for some reason. So let's see. And guys, want to continue to hear from you. You can text the number, call the number, 843-790-3377, whatever you like. Again, really excited in case you missed it. The news that dropped as soon as we went live, Lavoisier Carroll making it official. He is a Gamecock, transferring in from the University of Georgia. Of course, you might remember a one-time Gamecock commitment.
Call from to accept.
Let's jump to the phone lines here.
To send a voicemail, press
Let's see what
2.
happens. What's going on, my guy? How are you?
Doing good, man. How about you?
I'm doing well, man. Appreciate you asking. What's up?
Things are just getting better. But I heard you guys are committed to football, right?
Talking about Lavoisier Carroll, is that right?
Oh yeah, that's right. You're correct.
Yeah, he's committed. Yeah, he's already enrolled. Everything. He's literally enrolled at the University of South Carolina. So this was something we saw yesterday. So I think everybody pretty much knew. It was just waiting on the official word, the official announcement. But it's officially official. Lavoisier Carroll is a Gamecock. I believe he's on campus, but he is a Gamecock for sure. Yes.
Yeah, it is official. A big official for him to be a football player to next year, to start a new start in 2022. And I can't wait to look for to put the roster and the other new football players out there. To go to Dallas, and see what they can. I hope they can do Georgia next year. I'm just saying like that.
Yeah, no, I'm excited. I think Shane Beamer obviously sold to Rattler when he came here that, hey, we're going to continue to go out, get weapons, get guys that can help you out. And, I think certainly Lavoisier Carroll is a guy that's going to do that. So I'm excited for it. Again, you continue to add quality football players. Now the question just becomes, you look at the running back room, Rashad Amos, Juju, Lloyd, Christian Beal-Smith, now Carroll, how do you split up the carries? How do you split up the carries? That's going to be the big question mark. And, does somebody leave? I don't know. Does somebody leave? But, iron sharpens iron, and you want to have that competition. And so I'm excited for what's, how they're going to figure that out, how they're going to sort that out. And again, you can't have too many good football players and too many good offensive weapons. I appreciate the call, my guy. Thanks so much for the insight. Again, guys, I will say this too. When you call in, go back and listen to these shows. So you can, we want to make sure everybody can hear you, all right? We want to make sure everybody can hear you. So whenever you call in, just understand call quality is very important. The sound quality, right? Nobody would listen to my podcast if it sounded that way. Either way, 843-790-3377. Again, I do appreciate all the calls. I do. But be aware that, the audio quality is very important. Brian Lattimore, no, you do not sound that way. I would tell you, Brian. No. My guy, I think that was Young B. Call in. You're welcome to call in, but just know that the call quality audio, folks are having a tough time hearing you. So, yeah. Again, guys, you look at the running back room for South Carolina. You got to think one of them's going to leave. Juju, Lloyd, Beal-Smith, Carroll, and now Amos. You can't give 5 guys carries. I think Amos has got to be gone. Guy didn't see the field at all last year. Now you add some of the big pieces. I don't see any way he comes back. I mean, I don't know, though. It's purely a guess. It's purely a guess. I have no idea. Yeah, again, guys, hey, great podcast. It dropped this morning, episode 583. Like I said, in case you missed it, updated schedule for this week. No Tin Roof show on Wednesday. No Daily Crow tomorrow. But outside of that, podcast, Daily Crow on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, rolling as normal. Yours truly, TSUS, going to be hitting the road this week. Really excited for that. Get down to warm and sunny Florida. Going to get down to Clearwater and P-Dawk. I don't know what you're going to do Wednesday night. I have no idea. I don't know. Hey, the crew will still be. You know what sucks, too? J-Mo and Chase are both working, and I'm not going to be there. So might have to make up for it and go visit the boys down there at Tin Roof Saturday night or something like that. But we will not be there. We will not be there on Wednesday. So Brian Lattimore said, if only we had the same depth of wide receiver like we do at quarterback and running back. Yeah, I mean, we're working to build it, my guy. We're working to build it. So we're working to build it. So let's see. Again, guys, I want to continue to hear from you. Daddy O says, how about the tight end room? Daddy O, what about the tight end room? I'm excited for the tight end room. I do think Jaheim Bell slides outside. I mean, again, Jaheim Bell, I think, is a guy that, could play anywhere. He's a Swiss Army knife type of player. I think to limit him to one position would be foolish. It'd be silly. I think it would be limiting his abilities and the ways he can help you offensively. But, I think he's going to be used a lot at wide receiver. But, we got to continue to build depth, man, especially at the wide receiver position. You got to continue to build depth at the wide receiver position, no doubt. No doubt. Rebecca said, yes, Rebecca, we could hear you great. We could hear you great, Rebecca. No worries. We could hear you great. No worries. Again, I want to continue to hear from you. Also, guys, a great piece we dropped this morning. As I told you all before, we are or have been adding contributors to the Spurs Up Show. My guy, Austin Greer, dropping an article this morning, and it's doing really, really well already. But my guy, Austin Greer, submitting his first ever piece with TSUS, talking about Spencer Rattler and why he believes Spencer Rattler could indeed win the Heisman this year at South Carolina. So, I mean, hey, great conversation to have. Great conversation to have. Aaron Thompson says, can we trade a couple of running backs for some O-line help? And here's the interesting thing, Aaron. I'm not saying we might not pick up another offensive lineman or pick up an O-lineman in the portal, because we certainly might. But I think what fans are going to have to realize is, we're going to be depending on a lot of the same guys this upcoming season. A lot of guys are just going to have to play better. Eric Douglas, going to have to be better. Dylan Wanham, going to have to be better. Turning Time, going to have to be better. These guys are just going to have to play better. I really do feel like we've got capable bodies up front. I do. I have to believe we're better than we showed last season. But, I just don't – we're not going to go to the portal and pick up 5 new offensive linemen. I don't see that being a thing. So, and I'll tell you this too. I think people underestimate how much having a quarterback like Spencer Rattler is going to help us up front. I think having a guy in regards to a little bit more of a veteran in terms of, the checks and getting everybody in the right position and stuff like that, I do think we'll be better off, but those guys just got to play better. Again, I don't think we're going to go get 5 new offensive linemen. There's going to be guys that played last year that are going to play a lot this year that just have to play better. And they showed you their potential. They showed you their potential in the the Dukes Mayo Bowl. I mean, we saw it a couple times against Florida, right? So it's possible, it's there. How do you get that type of performance out of those guys just more consistently? So Jeff Sweat says Jaheim Bell's going to be another wide back like Debo. Yeah, I mean, again, use him in all kinds of different ways. I mean, he's obviously got speed. He can beat you deep. He's a mismatch nightmare at tight end. He can carry the football and run the football. Don't limit what you do. Why would you limit what you do with him? Use him in a multitude of ways and go from there. All right, let's jump back to the phone lines here.
From
Brian Lattimore.
Brian, what's up, my guy? How are you?
Good, man. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. Appreciate you asking, man. What's up?
You survived the snowstorm?
I survived the snowstorm. It was a lot of fun. Friday night was fun. That was cool. We got a pretty good bit of snow. So, at least for here. So, no, it was a good time. It was a very, very good time. Just hung out at the house and just sort of took it all in.
Yeah, it was nothing but annoyance here. My power went out for a while, and
see, we were lucky. We didn't have, at least at my place, we didn't have to deal with all that. So,
yeah, it was pretty much rain the whole time. It turned into sleet for a slow a little bit, but never saw any snow at all. And then the ice just accumulated on everything, and it's still in the process of melting. But,
really? Yeah, all of ours is gone for sure. All ours is long gone.
Good to hear. All right, so I wanted to call in and talk to you about the offensive line thing you were just talking about. So I think just my concept here is our offensive line looked like it was so bad because we just never had a threat behind them.
Mm-hmm.
When Doty was hurt week 1, that the other teams game planned around that. They heard about his injury. Between that, you look at Jason Brown or Zeb Nolan, we just never had a capable threat back there, a consistent threat back there. So defenses schemed around it. When you have a quality quarterback behind your offensive line that is able to, that has the ability to really torch a secondary, it changes the way defenses play. If they're constantly bringing pressure, it's a lot of work on that O-line to keep up, keep the consistency there for the offense to really perform well.
Well, and that's a great point also, I would say, just to your point, Ryan, to support what you're saying. I mean, does anybody feel like going week to week in 2021 that we had a passing game that was really a threat where opposing defenses had to respect our passing game and, they weren't going to be able to simply just key in on the run. You know what I mean? Let's not act like we were some well-balanced offense. And, I mean, teams knew when they played us, okay, South Carolina's goal is to run the football. We're going to stack the box. We're going to make them beat us through the air because we don't believe, and nor should they have believed, that Zeb Noland or Jason Brown or that crew of receivers last year could do it. I mean, that also hurts your statistics. That's going to hurt your offensive line. Certainly it's going to hurt your running game. So adding a guy like Rattler and at least, if nothing else, the threat of popping off the pass should help you, and it should help the line.
Yeah, I mean, when you think about, if you have Austin Stogner sitting 5 yards past the offensive, past the line of scrimmage, in the middle of the field, just waiting as a drop off or, screens on the side, Spencer can make those throws consistently. I believe that he can, and I refuse to believe that he can't. Let's put it that way. So when you have, defenses that want to bring pressure and you have, quick drop off, he can make those plays. So that the defense has to respect that, right? If you're constantly bringing pressure and you're getting torched because of it, you think about a Drew Brees or something. That's something he was notorious with. Defenses bring pressure, quick throws. It don't matter if you dink and dink them all day long. 4 yards here, 5 yards there. You're going to move the ball consistently because you have a good quarterback that can make those throws. And I just don't feel like we had that all last year. And maybe play calling was part of it, but
yeah, I don't know. I don't know how anyone could argue, my guy. Again, we can debate quarterbacks or this, that. We can debate play calling, but I don't know how anybody could debate that we just didn't reach our potential last year in the pass game. Like, no, I fully expected us, no matter who the quarterback was, to not be very good through the air because, call it what it is. We all love Dak Joyner. I love what he did in the Dukes Mayo Bowl. That's awesome. But to act like the receiving core was anything other than a deficiency it's just foolish, and you're wearing garnet glasses. I mean, we were really happy, obviously, with the season that Josh Vann had. I mean, obviously, we're very happy with the season Josh Vann had. But, I mean, outside of that, who were your real threats on the outside? You know what I mean? Like exactly it. Dak Joyner's not a receiver. Let's call it for what it is. He's not a receiver. He's not just a pure receiver. That's just not, you know what I mean? Like, he's not some 1,000-yard threat. Xavier Legette battled injury and hasn't really come into his own. E.J. Jenkins is tall. That don't mean he's a great receiver. So you struggled out there. There's a reason you're going to get the Stogners and you're going to get the Antoine Wells Juniors and you're going to get other guys. You know what I mean? Like, there's a reason you're doing that. So, upgrading that position, upgrading at quarterback, the passing game should be better. Again, I'm not sitting here saying South going to throw for 300 every game or average that, but the passing game should be a lot better.
Yeah, I mean, you can't make me believe that Josh Van's going to have a worse year than he had this year. I think
Van coming back was a fantastic decision. I think Van coming back was a fantastic decision. Yeah,
he's going to do better. He's going to improve his draft stock. I think we're one more good receiver away from having a really good year next year.
Yeah, and does that come from does that maybe come from does that come from somebody within stepping up? It's is that a new guy? Is that a freshman? But you definitely need some more guys. You'd like to have at least 4 to 5 guys you really feel good about that you can depend on. So
yeah, and if we don't get the tight ends involved in that conversation, and I'm kind of going off the fact that Bell stays a tight end. I know he's a very hybrid type player. We can kind of put him anywhere. I don't know if he formally makes the transition to receiver or not. And if he does, cool. He can fit that scheme. But yeah, I think we're one more good threat. Whether it comes from within, transfer portal, freshman stepping up. That's for the coaching staff to decide.
Right.
There's capable bodies on the offense there. I'm not going to say they don't exist. Guys that we have to make plays. They just have to be able to do it consistently.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yep, absolutely, man. You got to have those. Again, players make plays, Jimmys and Joes. So having those guys on the outside, it's pivotal. So,
and I can't think of a time in the recent future that we've had such competitive depth. It's nice that we're really stocking the stable here when it comes to these key positions. You look there and you're like, wow. Any of these 4 guys or these 5 guys can take the field, and I don't feel like it's a liability.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, that's Shane Beamer's job. He's trying to upgrade every single position, add good football players. They're certainly doing that, but good news is you are improving. I don't think there's any way the receiver room is hurting quite as bad as it was last year, but only time will tell.
Yeah, right on. Got my point across, so I'll let you go, and I'll keep on listening, man.
Brian, I appreciate you, my guy. Always a pleasure. Thank you so much. 843-790-3377. That's 843-790-3377. Aaron Thompson says, same receiver, same O-line. Whoever is quarterback is going to struggle with a bad combination like that. Again, Aaron, nobody's denying the O-line has got to play better. There's no doubt. But I mean, you say the same receivers, you add Stogner, you add Antoine Wells Jr., Jaheim Bell is now set up and primed for a breakout year. Josh Van should be primed for a breakout year. You exponentially improve at the quarterback position. Like, it's not even close. Night and day, you improve at quarterback. So, you feel like you should improve offensively. You really do feel like you should improve offensively. So, just my 2 cents. Again, 843-790-3377. Guys, like I said, great podcast drop this morning. Episode 583, breaking up the Gamecocks win, by the way. It is a victory Monday. South Carolina beating Georgia. And what a run that was, by the way, at the end of that game, a 30-9 run. I know, we're talking football here on a Monday. I think most are still kind of looking at South Carolina basketball like, and I agree with you guys. One win over Georgia, a bad Georgia team, by the way, doesn't change what I think needs to happen with Gamecocks basketball at the end of the season. It doesn't really change much of anything, but hey, it feels good to be good, and it feels good to just beat the hell out of Georgia, man. It feels good to beat Georgia. So, bottom line. Let's see. Darrell Wall Jr., when Kusnard and Bryant play well together, the basketball team seems to play at another level. Yeah, no, for sure, dude. Bryant's one of your big guys. I mean, he was a preseason all-SEC guy by a lot of people. He obviously hasn't had the season that we were hoping, but he was a preseason all-SEC guy, man. So, getting him going. And, of course, Kusnar, man, him returning to the floor was absolutely great to see him. 15 points, whatever he was going through, dealing with, just really happy to see that, he's able to overcome that. So, anyways, you'll have a big game on Wednesday night against Vandy. Guys, we are giving away a pair of tickets for that game as well on Instagram. That giveaway, go like the post, tag 3 friends, and follow Dason and Shalabi Law Firm, our good friends at Dason and Shelby Law Firm. So be sure to check that out. Can't wait to give away some tickets to some lucky Gamecocks. Yeah, outside of that, it's a big week for South Carolina athletics, by the way. Again, you got women's tonight. You've got the men's Wednesday, women's again on Thursday. All those games at home. Baseball is scrimmaging this weekend. South Carolina basketball is playing at the men's side, playing at Texas A&M on Saturday. And then Sunday, I would have to imagine the women are on the road since they've got two straight home games. Let's see. I don't know. I'm literally looking right now. Got to think they're on the road. Yes, Sunday at Florida. And it's a noon tip, by the way. So that'll be a fun one. At Florida. John Kruger said the basketball team played well for 10 minutes and bad for 30 against Georgia. But you know what, John? That 10 minutes is really all that matters in the end, my guy. That's I'll tell you what, it's games like that, by the way. That, yours truly used to gamble on sports a little bit. Used to gamble on college basketball. Okay, used to gamble on sports, gamble on college basketball, all that good stuff. That it's those games like that, guys. You understand that, bro. The bets you have in don't matter until the second half, like late in the second half, because South Carolina was a 10-point favorite. It looked like Georgia plus 10 was the easiest play of the day, and then all of a sudden the Gamecocks won by 17 and covered. So you just never know. You just never know. But either way, listen, whether you think it's a great win, it's a win. It's a win. It's a win, and it's a win you absolutely had to have. So kudos. I say kudos to Frank Martin. Kudos to that entire team for staying positive. When things looked bleak. I mean, there were many times in that game on Saturday that I sat there and thought to myself, God, this is going to be an embarrassing loss. This is going to be a terrible loss. And sure enough, this team did find a way to get the job done. And again, that's really all that matters. So again, looking forward to tonight. Yours truly going to be at the game tonight, watching the Gamecocks take on the Vanderbilt Commodores. Would expect the women's team to have a very fun night at the CLA. But so should be a really good time. Let's see. Again, guys, a lot going on today in regards to way too early predictions from our good friend Brad Crawford. It's football never stops. We know that. Football's king. It never stops at 24/7, 365. And hey, we love that. The more the merrier. The more content, the merrier for sure. Guys, we're going to jump into one final break here on this Monday. Guys, again, one more time, like I mentioned. Content update, schedule update. Podcast rolling as normal this week. No Daily Crow tomorrow. Yours truly is actually traveling this week. TSUS will be on the road. So I will be on the road during the normal time slot that is the Daily Crow tomorrow, noon to 2. So no Daily Crow. Don't worry. Tons of content rolling, podcast rolling, but no Daily Crow tomorrow, no Tin Roof live show Wednesday. But outside of that, we're normal as scheduled. We'll have full coverage of all the basketball games. We're continuing to break down the Yardcocks as we creep closer and closer to opening day. I think tomorrow's show, we're going to talk catchers. And then Thursday's show, we'll talk first baseman and just make our way around the diamond from there. But yeah, I mean, outside of that, guys, we're rocking, we're rolling, content bleeding out the eyeballs. It is that time of year, and you absolutely love to see it. Guys, more of your questions, your comments, your calls, and more on the other side of the break. You're tuned in to the Daily Crow. All right, what's up, guys? We're back. Final 10 minutes or so here on the Daily Crow this Monday, January the 24th, 2022. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Appreciate the love and support. Daddy O says, I was in St. Pete, Florida last month. That western part of Florida is 10 times better than the East Coast. Yeah, I will be in Clearwater, I believe it is. So looking forward to a good time. Should be a lot of fun. Should be a lot of fun. Going to be there till Saturday. John Kruger says, NFL overtime rules need to be changed. Not the way for an amazing game to end when the other team never gets a chance to have the ball. Yeah, I mean, listen, I don't love the rules either. I don't love the overtime rules either. I mean, you know, and you hate to see a game end like that where the Bills don't get to touch it, but that is just it's just the way it goes, I guess. I don't know. It's just the way it goes. So let's see. Yeah, guys, in case you missed it, the big news today, Lavassier Carroll committing or making it official, if you will, that he is a Gamecock. And I will tell you this, guys. I just mentioned this on Twitter. I do fully expect, because you look at the running back room right now, Juju McDowell, Marshawn Lloyd, Christian Beal-Smith, Lavassier Carroll, and Rashad Amos. I fully expect one of those guys at minimum to hit the transfer portal. I mean, we all know it's not going to be Beal-Smith or Carroll. So, and it's not going to be Juju McDowell because he's arguably RB1 coming back. So I think probably Rashad Amos is gone. I mean, again, this is all speculation. It's all guessing. I don't think there's a lot of honor in being RB5. Like if your goal is to play, you know, I mean, being RB5, you're not, you know, you want to have 2 to 3 really good backs to touch the football in a game. You're not getting 5 guys carries, man. You're just not doing it. Nor should you. So, we'll see what happens. Again, the transfer portal is what it is. It's absolutely crazy, but yeah. Either way, great pickup in Lavassier Carroll. And yeah, Shane Beamer just continues to crush on the recruiting trail and especially the transfer portal. So again, guys, I want to continue to hear from you, 843-790-3377 here this Monday. Check out the podcast if you have not done so, episode 583. Full breakdown of the game that happened yesterday, on Saturday. Full breakdown of the game. Also fantastic conversation, great interview with Kyle Nunn, former Gamecocks offensive lineman, really, really good stuff. Kyle and I chatted way back in 2019. So again, a truly a throwback interview, if you will. Let's see. Sports Talk reporting per his father, 2023 IMG Academy wide receiver Devin Hyatt, formerly of Dutch Forks, having constant contact with Gamecock receivers coach Justin Stepp. The Hyatts have known Stepp since his Arkansas days. Hyatt definitely wants to take a visit to USC. So that would be big. Obviously, you missed out on his brother who's at Tennessee. Can't go 0 for 2, I think, on the Hyatt family. So Tyrell Campbell Sr. says a few somebodies are going into the portal. Yeah, I mean, indeed, listen, and you can't, as I said before, you can't blame kids for wanting to hit the transfer portal and do what's best for them. And again, there's just no honor in being RB5. You know, the people, I laugh at the people that say, oh, just a kid that wants to run away from competition. But it's like, dude, you see the writing on the wall. Like, if you're Rashad Amos, you're not bringing in Christian Beal-Smith from Wake Forest to sit the bench. You're not a guy like Lavassier Carroll, probably not coming to South Carolina because he's going to ride the pine. Like, these dudes are going to play. They're going to help. They're going to contribute. So how does a guy like Rashad Amos, how does he want to handle that? I would totally understand if he wants to go somewhere else and fight for the starting job there, because didn't crack the lineup last year, got redshirted. You know, maybe he's made huge strides and he could come back and fight for the starting job, but most likely not. So we'll see what happens. Again, the transfer portal is what it is. We will see. And, you know, again, Shane Beamer, the other welcome home, shoot, we still don't know what the other welcome home was. If I had to guess, I would think that it is a 2023 prospect, because you did just have junior day over the weekend, but, only time will tell. We'll see. We shall see. Again, guys, I want to continue to hear from you, Shane Beamer and Justin Stepp on the road recruiting. Things you love to see, of course. Again, 24/7 Sports. Brad Crawford giving his early thoughts, his way too early predictions, if you want the season. He's got South Carolina at 7-5 in his way too early predictions, which I think is fair, guys. Listen, I locked in 8-4 a couple of weeks ago for my way too early picks, but I made the point, just like I did last preseason when I picked the Gamecocks to go 6-6, that I felt the roster, the personnel, the football team as a whole was much closer to 5-7 than it was to 7-5. Okay? And not a slight, but just the reality. And I think this team, my way too early pick was 8-4. And again, that's subject to change, certainly. But this team is much closer to 7-5, in my opinion, than they are to 9-3. Much closer. Much, much closer. So I don't totally disagree. The only pick that was different from what Brad Crawford had was the game. I've got South Carolina right now beating Kentucky. Again, subject to change. I won't lock in my official predictions until the summer. But, Joseph Ryan Moore says, I got us 10-2. Joseph, are you for real? Are you just saying that? Like, what's 10-2 just feels way too aggressive, my guy. Way too aggressive. This team is not. I'm sorry, man. I don't see this team at all being ready to go 10-2. I don't see that. I don't see it. I'd love to see it, but I realistically do not see that. I realistically do not see that. So, again, I'd love to be wrong. But I don't know, man. 10-2 seems really, really aggressive. Really, really aggressive. So, Joseph Ryan Moore says only losses are to Georgia and Texas A&M. So Joseph Ryan Moore thinks the Gamecocks are going to win every single swing game and beat Clemson. Hey, from your lips to God's ears, Joseph Ryan Moore, from your lips to God's ears. Again, I just think every single swing game, man. I don't know, that again feels aggressive. I'd love to see it happen, but it does feel aggressive, I will say. James Kendall says, don't set yourself up for disappointment. 7-5 and closer to 8-4 than 6-6. Feel good about that. Indeed. Andrew the Textbook says, I had the team going 8-4 with the 4 losses being to Georgia, Kentucky, A&M, and Clemson. Jeff Sweat, who is this Lavoisier Carroll? Jeff, he was once committed to South Carolina, was a 4-star prospect in the 2021 recruiting cycle, was a 4-star running back. Went to Georgia, got moved to DB. Now he's coming to us. So good football player, though. A good, highly thought of, good football player. Positive addition for South Carolina. Aaron Thompson, Texas A&M was a swing game, ? I had it listed as a loss. Aaron, it falls at a really interesting point on the schedule just because, you're coming off a bye week, if you will, but I still just right now, listen, you've never beaten Texas A&M. How can you list that as a toss-up game? Until the Gamecocks show us all that they can beat A&M, how can you list it as a toss-up? So, how can you list that as a toss-up? I can't do it. I think that's a loss. Andrew the Textbook, I agree this team is more likely to go 7-5 than 9-3, though. Yeah, for sure. Again, I know the addition of Rattler is going to set the expectations sky high, but let's, again, try to keep perspective and understand, again, it's going to be a slow grind. It's going to be incremental progression, if you will. So I'd love to be wrong. I'd love to see this team go 9-3, 10-2, obviously win every game, but realistically, I don't think that's in the cards this year. Matt Johnson says, late coming on today, Carroll, another huge transfer commit. So they have him at running back. Yes, he will play running back. That's been confirmed by multiple people. He will play running back. Beamer keeping the momentum going. That's the biggest takeaway, man. Is Beamer's keeping the momentum going. Positive addition, a really, really good football player. So James Kendall says, we were an Aggie love toy last year. We have a lot of ground to make up. Yeah, and James, I look at specifically the line of scrimmage. That's where you're going to have to recruit the hardest, I think. I mean, obviously you need to get skill position players and all that. But it's about the Jimmies and Joes up front as well. When you look at Georgia, you look at Alabama, you even look at Clemson. You know, you look at the teams in the playoff, where are they elite? They're elite on the line of scrimmage. So we got to continue to build depth up front. We couldn't stop the run to save our lives last year. Will that change? We'll see. Again, we got a long way to go, guys. But, you know, how can you not be excited? How can you not be optimistic going into year 2 of the Shane era? But again, I just don't – I don't want fans to look at it and say, well, if you don't go 9-3, you got to make this amount of progress. You got to go 9-3 or 10-2 in year 2. Like, it's year 2. It's year 2. It's year 2. So – Willie Gray says, feel like they're hyping us up. Just chill out, let the season play out, but we do need more additions on our offensive line. Where are those recruits? Willie, we added some in recruiting, but like I said earlier, man, I just think a lot of people need to understand you're going to be depending on a lot of the same guys. A lot of the same guys on the offensive line to just play better. Bottom line, play better. So, a Coop, will Marshawn Lloyd be a productive running back this year? Fingers crossed, man. I think Marshawn coming off the ACL injury, it obviously affected him much more than we thought it would. Would love to see him return to form. I'd love to see him be the guy that we all expected. Guys, we've hit 2 o'clock. Great stuff here on a Monday. Appreciate you all tuning in. Like I said, go check out the podcast that dropped this morning, episode 583, breaking down everything from the basketball game of the weekend. Also, of course, fantastic conversation, great interview with Kyle Nunn, former Gamecocks offensive lineman. Guys, of course, quick reminder, again, no Daily Crow tomorrow. The next time we will chat will be on Wednesday. Again, no Daily Crow tomorrow. Podcast will release as normal. Content will continue to roll, but no Daily Crow tomorrow. Just keep that in mind. We'll talk to you guys again on Wednesday. Appreciate you all tuning in. Have a fantastic rest of your Monday, and we'll talk to you in a few. Y'all